Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't.
Yeah.
We're upset that we're assuming.
Oh my god, I'm not fucking recording anything.
Biscuits and tea.
34.99. Wow. We're coming out of hibernation, guys. Is preseason over?
Preseason is over. Good to be back.
Oh, thank God, because wow. I'll say one thing. I want to apologize to all of our listeners, all of our fans out there. We kind of went away for a little while. We 3 or 4 weeks, I think. When was the last time we did an episode? We released it before you left.
2013, I'm thinking something around there. We've been going for a while.
Yeah, and it does feel like a while when you're in preseason. When you go into a preseason training, like intense 3 week or what, like it seems like years.
Yeah, Tyler gonna have something to say about that. He told me, use the words you used the other day at training. You remember?
What did I said? We were stuck in some, I don't know, time vortex.
Time vortex. Yeah, he was like, I feel like I'm stuck in some sort of time vortex or something. And it's true because it just.
So can you get people who are maybe new to the show? I always want to go into the shows. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys playing? How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. Hey, what's up, BNT fans? My name is Jackson McDaniel. Currently the center on the New England Patriots hockey team. They're changing the name.
That's semi-pro, right?
Yeah, that's semi-pro.
We're
amateur.
Right? Okay.
We're amateur. Let's be honest. Sometimes I say that we're semi-pro, but honestly, we're amateur.
So Tyler's the goalie on the hockey team.
Tyler's been playing goalie here. Actually, Tyler was in the NHL until the incident that happened last year. Tyler, why don't you tell him about what happened?
Yeah, I ended Sidney Crosby's career.
Oh, so you got blacklisted from the NHL, and from there, Will, since you have such a deep love for hockey, Goloremi, obviously the Nigerian heritage, it pulls back from the hockey roots.
Yep.
And you guys were able to pull together a league that's semi-pro, and amateur. The New England Patriots are that amateur. Sorry, excuse me. And it's an amateur league for a semi-pro hockey team, and New York is the first team, right? You guys founded it.
New England. We're a little bit. There's some legal issues. Apparently, there's an establishment that's quite well known from New England that's doing pretty well. But I have no doubt that our lawyers will come on top. We hired some people that were involved in putting Ghislaine Maxwell behind bars.
Hey, whoa! Don't. No.
Yeah. So we have lawyers that are out for justice, and they want to see justice done. And so we're a hockey team filled with mainly Nigerians. Tyler's the only American. Cool Runnings. If you haven't heard about it, it's a bobsled team. We were inspired, So I don't know if there's much to add with that. Maybe we want to rapid fire into. Tyler, do you have anything to add to that?
No, this is a stupid segment.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. I mean, you ending Sidney Crosby's career. All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to the first episode of Biscuits and Tea this year. Wow, welcome back.
Stop calling me mother. Trans man says hospital staff keep misgendering him after he gave birth to a son. Thoughts?
I just feel like you would have bigger things to worry about while you're giving birth than
the misgendering?
Yeah, than the misgendering.
Hey.
Whoa. I think you'd be focused on other things.
You would. Well, first off, you, sir, have not given birth. And he has. And so now I feel like you can't speak about this issue at all because you've not experienced it. So, Brandon, thoughts?
Okay. So, we're upset that we're assuming...
Oh my God, I'm not fucking recording anything. There we go.
Let's just honestly, I don't have any words for this, but
yeah, that's deep. It's like we're have to go philosophically, like we're upset that the baby is being gendered based on what they have already. So what? So when the baby comes out, we only say they until we have like a celebration of gender.
It's not talking about the baby. It's talking about the guy, the man.
No, I don't understand it at all, dude. I tried to follow what you were saying, but you don't understand. It sounded like 14 layers of like,
From my understanding, there was someone who was biologically a woman. They transitioned into a man. They gave birth. They were upset that the nurses,
so they okay, I see how the baby was born now. Okay, but then what?
and then they're upset that the nurses were calling him a mom or she during while giving birth
Because she wants to be a because she wants to be a man.
because he identifies as a man.
The dad who gave birth. Being pregnant doesn't change me being a trans signed.
Oh,
Oh, it's a
That makes sense?
oh yeah, I was
I
right.
need see, I'm a visual learner, you know?
Yes, someone who is now a man was born and labeled as a woman. They transitioned to a man. However, they are pregnant. Then they gave birth.
But they're still a man but because they gave birth, they're facing certain stereotypes and stigmas, I guess.
No, B, I think this was like a one. I'm sure it's not a one-time thing. He's upset about the one-time thing while he was giving birth of the nurses who were helping him give birth, calling him a she or mom.
Oh, okay.
You get it now.
Okay. Yeah, I understand the situation. That is wow. I mean, I mean, overthinking leads to a lot of unhappiness, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. What do you really do? Like, what do you really do in this situation? You call them what they want to be called, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any problem calling you what you want to be called. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it could even not even be a conscious thing they're doing. It just, I don't know, it's a high stress
Yeah, yeah.
position that they're in. They're just going, I don't know how many times they help someone give birth in a day and how many times they say she, mom, or whatever every time. And it could just be, not an intentional thing. Yeah, just something that's what I would put my money on.
I mean, think about like from the podcast with Kevin Barry, like all the subconscious things that like you retain from like your surroundings, right? Like he was learning Chinese from his freaking like babysitter or whatever. Like I don't know, that shit affects you and like the way that you react to things and like your natural subconscious reactions to like stuff like this, like what you're saying. Like you're in a moment like we were delivering, and then you say something. It's like how can you possibly judge someone or look into that? You can't assume that it's like being said in a malicious way, but maybe they were like, what's like, is there more to this, or is that literally just it? Like, that's insane.
That's literally
This is
it.
also the Daily Mail.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This person could have this could have been a reporter that literally just heard somebody talking on the street for 5 seconds and then wrote a whole article about
How
it. Like,
That's
dare you?
making this a
everything,
big
How
deal.
dude.
dare you? How dare you, sir?
I don't think anybody who is actually like an intellect in this subject is really arguing about this. Like, what is this information? And it's all over every social media. It's all it is. It's all it is.
Rapid fire. Finally, a male birth control. Warm balls. Researchers found that heating up testicles acts as a reversible birth control. The study injected mice gonads. I repeat, the study injected mice gonads with metal nanoparticles. And I'm sorry, can we just stop who's getting injected with metal nanoparticles? And then they added heat.
Dude, I still what?
Hasn't this been known though, like all the time? Hasn't this always been known?
Okay, yeah, the part about heat not helping you conceive. Yeah, we've known about that for a while. I don't remember last time we've figured out that injecting metal nanoparticles that's not beneficial at all. Sperm counts decreased and then recovered 60 days later. Are there any volunteers for the human trial?
Study injected mice gonads. What is that?
How are these? How is this injected?
A needle. Just use a little needle.
Straight into like just they just inject a needle straight into your ball? Like
Ah!
is that really
Son
what's
of a
going on for this?
gun.
Yeah, sign up. Yeah, guys, sign up.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh man, that's bad.
Okay, so you say you're not signing up for it.
I mean, if they knock me out, I'll sign it. I mean, if it's, I don't know. Who cares if you're knocked out, right?
I don't think that's the
I think
case.
at that point, you might as well just get a vasectomy or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole. So wait, if you subject your balls to heat, you're less likely to conceive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? You're supposed to like have your balls like frozen while you're trying to have sex if you're trying to have a baby.
Not frozen.
No, well, it's like a temporary thing, but that's why your balls like aren't in your body. It's because it's too hot.
That's
Wait,
the theory.
what?
Yeah, that's our understanding as of now, is that the reason the testicles are outside of the body is because the inside of the body gets regulated to a certain temperature that's hot, and the balls need to be cooler. And so, in theory, that's why people keep them cool when they're trying to conceive, because heating them up too much apparently causes a decrease in sperm count.
That's why I love saunas.
So you can't have kids? Is that your idea?
Jesus, Tyler, whatever, dude. You're gonna have like 5 kids. I cannot wait to just clip, 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 clip the past 4 years and just replay it one after the other of you just saying, "I'm not gonna have kids. I hate kids. I hate kids," and then you're just gonna have
Yeah.
5.
And then they're going to be
Good luck.
attached to them, 50 of them.
Yeah, and you're gonna be running around your giant DC house passed down from your 4 different generations of
That house
the
was bought in
estates.
the 90s.
Just joking.
Rapid fire. Hillary's ready for Trump rematch. Clinton could run for
I
president
told ya.
in 2024
I told you.
if Biden loses Congress, claims insider. Are we ready for this? Are you guys ready for that?
Yep, it was gonna happen. I told everyone it was gonna happen. It's like Floyd Mayweather and who's that other guy? They're facing off.
All right, let's make predictions now. We're well far off.
I think Hillary's gonna win. I think she's gonna win the election.
Okay, so you think Hillary's going to run?
It's the greatest comeback story of all time. It's America loves a
Are
comeback.
you sure that Trump's
baby.
not a comeback
Think
story?
about it.
Aren't they going to be cheering for Trump?
It's not a bigger comeback story. I think we proved that the majority of the country, if we come together, we're good, right? So I think that if we do create this kind of face off, I think that Hillary can come forward and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I messed up, but we got an opportunity here."
What is she apologizing for? What does the great Hillary Clinton have to apologize?
Losing in 2016.
Losing.
Because she'll accept
She does need to apologize for that.
she'll accept the responsibility. She
Losing.
thought she had it handled, bro. Everyone thought she had it handled. We all thought she had it handled. Let's all accept it. We all thought it.
You know, I mean, we stood there with an outside chance, but yeah, it was, you know.
Oh no. Yeah, obviously. I was just saying, like, in terms of just like initially when we were all talking about Trump potentially becoming president, I think everybody was like, "Oh, what a new, like, yeah, no chance." Maybe like there may have been some people like at the very start of it, but I think we were earlier than most. We figured it out, like, oh, he might, but it's just crazy how that kind of information and like you kind of start to see, like, you forecast like what's going to happen based on kind of just what you're seeing, I guess. But
I remember the first person telling me that they were going to vote for Trump. And this was a couple days after he announced he was running. And my first thought was like, you are just a fucking idiot. Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like how do you think this is going to work out? What do you like, this voting for Kanye? It was pretty much I viewed it as like you're voting for
Yeah,
Kanye when he first announced it.
exactly.
Speaking of Kanye's lick of love. This is not what we're. Rapper closes eyes as he shares PDA with new girlfriend
No.
Julia Fox at Paris.
That's even worse than Messi.
That's exactly the reason.
What was that?
That's it. That's why.
Oh,
That's why I wanted to show it, is because we uncovered one of the internet's strangest videos that Adidas is probably trying to keep under wraps of Messi just being a naughty boy. And
yeah. And what else we found of him selling some freaking? I guarantee you, if we look into that product, I guarantee you it's tied to some money laundering,
absolutely
some sort
something
of
weird. Allegedly,
deep pocket
allegedly.
bank account.
Allegedly. There you go.
Allegedly, total conspiracy theory. Absolutely conspiracy. But I don't know. I don't understand why Messi was in a basement advertising a product
Thank
that is
you.
not good.
Thank you.
None of it makes sense.
It doesn't.
And all I know is from all of my episodes of watching Ozark is that doesn't make sense, and I need to look into that.
What if it turns out that like a kid for a Make-A-Wish Foundation decided he wanted to design a product and have Messi advertise his
Like
product?
we're assholes. Yeah.
It just
They could say that though. To be honest, these big corporations would milk that. They'd be parading that kid out in front of everybody.
I wanna find out what all that's about. We're big enough now, and we
Absolutely.
know enough people
Yes.
that we need to find out what that was
Yeah,
about.
and is it around
But
still?
I honestly
I don't know,
I don't know, but honestly, like, if we start to poke that bear and we get little pushback, I'm okay with just not looking into it, honestly, as well. Because I we can get into that. We can get into that because I was a little creeped out by some of the stuff on your previous podcast. Kevin Barry, I don't know what he's up to at
Well,
I don't know.
you have something first to answer for. Kansas woman's army of ISIS woman. I repeat, Kansas. That's right. Your hometown, your home state. Prosecutors claim terrorist was planning attacks on U.S. college campus and shopping mall. Brandon, what's wrong with Kansas?
Kansas. Wait, so this woman does she raise an army of ISIS women, or what's going on here?
We can dig deeper into it if you're curious.
I mean, let's define what an army of ISIS is in Kansas. What is the don't get that out of here.
We haven't heard much about ISIS. Also, we stopped hearing about ISIS, right? Like,
I don't I've now this is the first time I've heard anything about this, FYI. I have not heard a single thing. This has not hit my radar, guys. This is NPR news about my home state.
a Kansas woman has been arrested for allegedly leading an all-female. They didn't say that earlier. An all-female ISIS battalion, or maybe they did. A woman who once lived in Kansas. Okay, all right. Let's find out where she's really from.
Oh
Okay.
sh oh jeez, that
Okay.
scared me. I saw Alexandria, Virginia, and I was like, "Oh god, she's from here." No, it's
Yeah,
the district
no, she
attorney.
once lived. We'll find out. We'll find out who's to blame for this.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, just wait.
It looks like criminal complaint.
She once lived in Kansas, dude, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why they're throwing Kansas under the bus like that. Like one guy ate a sandwich at
Jesus.
Subway, and now, yeah, I don't know what that's about. But
You know how many bad people came to Kansas? Like, what are we responsible for every person that has crossed our border? I mean, come on.
so, in according to court papers, Fluke Ekren moved to Egypt in 2008, traveled frequently between Egypt and the U.S. over the next 3 years. She has not been in the U.S. since 2011. She moved to Syria in 2012, and in early 2016, her husband was killed in the Syrian city of Tel Abyad while trying to carry out a terrorist attack. So 4 months after that dude's death, she remarried somebody in the
Wait, was
Islamic State.
her
Tell me.
her husband American, or her husband
No, it looks
was
like her husband was. Oh, they didn't state that,
Syrian?
but it looks like I'm assuming he's
Where was she born?
Syrian. We
Yeah,
haven't
where
gotten
was
to
I
that.
think sounds like she's born in Kansas.
Wait for it. Well, no, we got a little bit more here. She told one witness in 2008 she instructed a person to Syria or in Syria. Blah blah blah. Okay, no, sorry. She tried to fake her own death. Photos from a family blog called Four Kansas Kids show her and her children in the years they traveled between Kansas and Egypt, posing at the base of the pyramids in Egypt and playing in the snow in the U.S.
She sounds like she's from Kansas.
Why would you say once lived in Kansas? That's not how you say.
Because she once lived in Kansas and she moved to Syria and everywhere else.
And the kids she's dealing with are Kansas public school kids. So she's kind of, even though she's not maybe in Kansas, she does have a network in Kansas that she is utilizing. So I think that's why.
She was raised on Kansas values.
Yeah,
That's what
You
this whole
all the
son of
story is
a.
about.
Hey,
terrorists.
hey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the last place I would have.
I mean,
I would have thought. You city.
yeah. Well, I mean, think about it though. Think about it. I mean, radical religion is everywhere around here. It
That's
is
true.
everywhere, Will. And ISIS and whatever the hell I watched that Jesus Camp documentary, and that shit's like going on in Lee Summit, which is 25 minutes, 30 minutes away from here. It's no different. It's the same. Everyone has radical movements in every single culture, and we have our own ISIS, and our, like, just because they don't go blow up buildings and shit doesn't mean that there isn't some sort of radicalism or brainwashing going on, right? So I don't know. It's pretty weird. I think that people understand that people in the Midwest, especially Tyler, and you'll back this up. I think people in the Midwest are easily influenced by people on the West Coast and East Coast, or like internationally, more so than like East Coast and West Coast. Like I feel like it's easier to influence people in this part of the country with big ideas, radical thoughts, and you hear about this, right?
They're a lot less educated. I think that's what it comes down to. Statistically, like it's the education in those areas, like public schools, everything are a lot worse than.
But you have
I
to
would
make a
guarantee you,
distinguish before
Will, if
the
you look at like,
tell me.
oh, I was just gonna say like scam calls. Like I wonder like if scam calls are more effective in the Midwest than East Coast and West Coast.
That would be tough to that would be an interesting thing to look up.
Maybe hit a section in Florida, but other than that,
Florida's not the Midwest, though. Exactly what I was going to say. Is that you're going to have to make a sharp distinction between the Midwest values and South values, because for people on the East and West Coast, that's all one giant smorgasbord of people, and that's not going to make sense at all. Because the people in rural Kansas are not the same as the people in rural Mississippi. They might have some similarities, but they're not going to have the same values at all for what's okay.
Yeah, but all of the people that that Tyler's talking about are the people that voted for Trump. Like that's what the data, like literally. I mean,
That's not all true, right? Who on the coasts voted for Trump?
well, everybody jumped on board at some point.
it was all the rural areas. All the cities voted blue. It's always been that. All the big cities vote blue, and then all the rural areas of like rural New York, rural Pennsylvania, rural Virginia, they all vote.
We have a different denominator here. Then, so we're looking at densely populated areas versus sparsely populated areas, where sparsely populated areas tend to have less people educated. Also, though, because everybody wants to flock to the city to get educated, people that flock to cities want to get educated because they want more opportunities. So it's less to do with where you're at, but more to do with what the place is that you're at. Your environment is dictating.
Well, it's also you need for the most part, unless you come up with some, I don't know, crazy trade or something to be in these cities and be off well, you need to be pretty well educated in the first place if you're going to afford how much it costs to live there.
I mean, no, I get that. But what I mean is that Kansas city of Kansas is blue. B, am I not correct? Most of that in there
Yeah,
is
yeah,
blue,
yeah, yeah.
and so
I think like Jackson County, I think all votes Democrat, and they've historically voted
yeah,
Democrat.
and that's densely populated. It's like the densely populated areas tend to be Democrat, more interested in social issues and stuff like that. Also, tend to be higher educated. Most of the people that work there and do that. So it's like, so how do we solve this? All right, and
But that's Electoral College. That's like, I mean, like that's when like all that plays in a role, though, and that's why that's been set up is to keep the control out of those densely populated areas, right?
right, they shouldn't have too much.
Yours guys' votes from Kansas is worth more than my vote in Virginia.
I have no idea how. How does that work?
Based on your population, the like ratio of how much your vote is worth of like how many electoral votes you get is more in like Kansas Midwest than it is on the heavily populated states in the East Coast or California or something. That's like how Trump did it. That's how Hillary wins the popular vote and then loses the election. It's because she gets more votes like from the East Coast, but they're not worth as much. Yeah, you
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah, the issues everyone has with the Electoral College. I saw some freaking thing on them wanting to do it. B, what were you gonna say? You're gonna add something?
Oh, I don't know. I think we all kind of get the point here. It's just like it's just crazy to think how. My main point was just like those areas that Trump targeted was very like specific, obviously, and those states had like the right amount of points for him to be able to win that Electoral College. And I think that this article is tied to that same issue of I think people here can be manipulated. Like easier in these states than the other ones in the United States. It could be studied and recorded and traced with social media because this whole article is written like a fucking piece of bait, dude. It's flown out there in the middle of the pond and it's like Kansas. And it's like it gets attention, dude, and this scares people. This is scary. This is an ISIS lady in your community finding your kids and attacking them and making them get brainwashed for ISIS. And they're going to go to Egypt. Keep your kids at home.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah. It is. It's a weird.
Why NPR? Why? What am I supposed to do now? I'm in Kansas. I'm in the Kansas City Metro now. Like, what do I need to do, NPR? Do I need to go and run around the streets and picket and say, no one go to Egypt? No one go to Egypt. Will, from a philosophical art of war, your whole just study and experience in world conflict and international culture, what is about to happen?
With the Ukraine Russia.
Yeah, like is Ukraine going to get invaded? is the US going to interject themselves? Will the 100,000 soldiers on the border do anything, or is it just a tactical scare? Is Putin actually using the economic downturn and global supply chain issues to use an opportunity to gain power and control when countries are down and struggling and have their attention spans spent other places trying to survive? Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Uh, it's a good question. I think I don't know what his entire motives are. An all out war, though, is ridiculous and completely would destabilize, unless he's hoping to destabilize Western Europe. If he's hoping, we don't know what his internal issues are, right now. But like, if let's be honest, if let's imagine Russia has some shit that we don't know about. Their oil ran out. I don't know. A nuke went off, and they've been keeping under something wrong. Destabilizing
Just
Europe.
something bad.
What's that?
I said just something bad
Yeah,
happened to like they
something
need
bad
to try
happens
to
that we
get
don't know about.
oil from Ukraine.
Yeah. I mean, if Russia was in a bad case, destabilizing Europe would be a good thing. Otherwise, this is it's horrendous.
And he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO.
Yeah, Ukraine's done a good job of kind of staying outside of the stuff, but it's horrible. If they invade Ukraine and it goes south or it goes bad, he's going to have a war here. It's going to give America a chance to say, well, you've got to deal with this, so we need to come here. They don't. The problem with Russia is that they don't need to move outside of the Soviet Union fell. Putin was there. I actually was just watching a bunch of interviews. Like, it just doesn't make sense for him to want to take Ukraine.
So so we're about to witness a world war, and all of the major nations are going to have to band together, and then we're going to take over Russia and and then keep Ukraine, and then we'll just like divvy out the space of Russia to the rest of NATO.
I don't
Is that
think.
what's going to happen here?
I honestly don't think the rest of the world wants this either. I don't think anybody wants this. I think you're probably gonna end up with nothing.
Nobody wants it, but what's going to happen here? So it's just all just headlines.
I don't think he's gonna do it. It doesn't make sense now. It doesn't make sense now. This would be true Hitler invade Poland shit type
Is
of
he not
tactics.
like that though? But this is what he like. Just one comment, Tyler, and then I'll let you go. I would just he's using like saying that Russia and Ukrainian values are tied together historically, and that he doesn't want them to join NATO because that interjects with this spiritual connection, larger than life connection that Ukrainians and Russians have together. And that's why they shouldn't join NATO. It's not about having control over them or the land or the oil or any. That's what he's pushing. So it freaks me out that he's trying to play this Trump manipulative, emotional, card to basically say like, "Oh, you're stepping between a relationship that our country have had for far longer than what what you're having them join NATO. Well, what about us?" It's like the weird like ex-girlfriend, like ex-boyfriend type jealousy kind of thing going on.
Tyler, what were you gonna say? I have an answer to your question, B.
This because I don't I really haven't looked into this too much, so this is just throwing pretty much a dart. But this just reminds me a lot of like North Korea when they're like, "Oh, we got this bomb, we're gonna go do this," and then like someone will give them some food or something, and they'll just give them something, or they'll ease up on some sort of restriction for a bit, and then they'll be quiet for a while, and then they'll need something else, and they'll start making noise again.
Yes and no. So to answer both of you, B, you said it right. You go, but they're Russia. North Korea is the dude who cries wolf all the time because they're little bitches. Russia is by no means. No
They
one.
ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah.
Russia, over the course of thousands of years, probably, but at least actually thousands of years. Yeah, it's for sure. Invading Russia and trying to take over Russia has been a problem for all of the greatest rulers forever. It's just an issue. You can't take it. It's too big. It presents too many problems. To answer your question on what he's trying to do with Ukraine and trying to say, oh, but we're all together. Do you know what this place is here? Do you see this place here that I'm circling around? Sevastopol, right there. You see the little island here.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I was on trial at that club. I don't remember now. Years ago.
What the hell, man?
It's a really nice place. Anyway, the point is that used to be Ukraine. It is now Russia. They took it in these last recent years because there were a bunch of Russians over there, and they decided, hey, you're supposed to be with Russia. It was a part of Russia way back when, then Ukraine had it, and now Russia just said it's ours, and they just took it, and nobody said or did anything. No American people came to the aid. Nobody did it. Nothing. Nothing.
Well, how are we supposed to protect it and sustain protection, right?
Oh, you just put a military presence there. I mean, if we really wanted to protect it, you just put any sort of military there, and if they attack,
It's not worth the investment. It's all an ROI. Like,
well, there's nothing we want. But that's how. I mean, it wouldn't take a lot to protect it if you really didn't want them to invade from like a humanitarian view.
Yeah, we have bases all over there. I mean, we buy and by no means. Now, it's not in his best interest. Let's just put it out there. It's not in his best interest to do that because, especially, I mean, God forbid if this takes 2 years to do and we get Trump, you know, uh, in there and he gets to start grandstanding and both these guys are going to go back and forth with all this. You know, it's probably not the best situation. I don't know.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think that this presents a case that like the Democrats really need to be like, all right, this is a serious problem. If we do not have somebody in place to handle these like international conflicts and keep things under control, that we are going to be facing a war. And I don't think that the Republican Party can go into this next election cycle with Trump and everybody really feel comfortable with like, are you really gonna trust him? Like, I understand that you're on Facebook, like, but do you want to fight a war? Like,
They already convinced their whole base so that Hillary was the one connected to Russia.
yeah,
That was
but I
already.
don't
That's
know.
already.
We're in a different place now. I do think that people have learned a little bit. There's enough people who have learned at least a little bit, right? There's some sort of understanding that there's an awareness, there's misinformation, right?
I don't know. I've been out of there too long to really get a good sense of what the American people think of.
I would hope.
I don't know. I don't
I would
know.
hope that the last election cycle at least made people think a little bit more about what they are, what they're reading. Like, well, it's just the way it should be. Where we end off the first episode of the year with some technical difficulties. We promise to our fans this year that we will focus in on quality of production,
Will that is
and
yes, that is glory guarantee.
we will get better, I promise. And the Tribe 11 team is working very hard in the background to take this show to the next level. So thank you all for watching. If you want to support us, please go and check out Four Sigmatic. It's our
Link down
new
below.
partner. When you buy Four Sigmatic, you are supporting the pockets of Goloremi and Team Biscuits and Tea, 11th News, and all the wonderful teammates we have over at goloremi.com. Will, do you know anything about Four Sigmatic?
Besides the fact that they're the greatest company ever because they're working with us.
Well, let me tell you a little bit more about why you love them and why you don't know you love them yet. It's a ground coffee with lion's mane. And when you drink it, you get all the benefits that coffee gives you, but it doesn't have all that stuff in it that makes you anxious, jittery, nervous, sweaty. It just helps you kind of zero in. You know, Maybe you don't need to take ADHD medications or do all these things. I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me. I'm just having you think about stuff. Four Sigmatic can help you think. It can help you focus. You don't need to do cocaine when you have Four Sigmatic. Can we say
And
that?
I am a doctor, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that that's 100% factual.